Here he comes a prowling, mean and hungry. Run past our boots. And defensively, he's rough, tough. Cincinnati Bengals, that's the team we're gonna cheer to victory. Touchdown Bengals! Get some points up on that board and win a game for Cincinnati.
All right, that's enough. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Six Podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL Podcast. I'm Will Brinson. I'm your host. As you may guess, I mean, as you know, if you're a football fan, you know the Cincinnati Bengals won. It is still Sunday, January 30th. And for the first time in how many years?
33, Brinson. And I just put up a 2. I don't even know numbers anymore. Numbers don't make sense to me. Nothing makes sense right now.
The Cincinnati Bengals are in the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
I couldn't be more thrilled for you, Breech. For those in the chat who have been so enthusiastic about this taking long enough, Wilson had to do video. He's a popular man. He had to go and talk about the Super Bowl and you know, gambling experts Ryan Wilson, Jonathan Jones, and Brian McFadden had to break down the odds.
And Wilson's just drumming up the suspense here. Wilson wants to add to it.
Breech, you'll know my bold prediction was for the Super Bowl that I just announced on HQ.
The Bengals win by 3 touchdowns.
The Bengals win on a last-second Evan McPherson field goal.
I don't know if I'd be able to show up for the podcast. That would be setting Los Angeles on fire, doing something crazy.
I will say too, before we get into it, that so the Around the NFL podcast at NFL Media, our good
I'm not
pals,
laughing at you. I was reading the comments.
I was gonna say our good pals there. They, you know, Chris Wessling, who I think many people know from this chat because they listen to multiple NFL podcasts, died at a way too young age and left behind his wife Lakeisha and their son Link. Lakeisha was a giant Rams fan, and Wes grew up a giant Bengals fan, and it's like eerie as F that those two teams are meeting in the Super Bowl in LA. Some just crazy stuff. It's weird because I don't have a rooting interest in I wanted the Niners and Bengals to meet at 8 because I had a big bet on them, but like I don't have a rooting interest in the Bengals. I do have a rooting interest in Matthew Stafford. We like to make fun of the Bengals on here, but man, Breech, could not be more excited for you that the Bengals and Joe Burrow, a bad mofo, if there ever was one, are going to the Super Bowl. I would just say your thoughts.
Well, I'm going to touch on Chris Wessling real quick because you brought him up. At Super Bowl 50, me and him had a long talk about the Bengals, and it just felt like they were so far away. This is 6 years ago, and just that they were so far away. This didn't seem like anything that could ever happen to the Cincinnati Bengals. I think I was the super optimist in the group, and I was like, maybe they could get there in 10 years. And here we are. And Chris loves Cincinnati, so he is thrilled up in heaven. He's going to have a front row seat to the game on February 13th. And to be here now and have this happen, whether you're a Bengals fan for life, whether you're a Bengals fan who joined in 1990 when the last playoff win, if you joined in 2003 because you thought Carson Palmer was going to get him to a Super Bowl, or 2011 because Andy Dalton's rookie year and they went to the playoffs and it looked like they had a bright future. There are just people who've been jumping on the bandwagon and joining the bandwagon for the past 30 years. And the bandwagon. What
about January 2022? Is that too late to jump on the bandwagon?
It is not too late. Everybody is welcome on the Bengals bandwagon. And every year it ends with the bandwagon crashing into a wall and being set on fire, usually by the Bengals coaching staff because they do something dumb or whatever. But it was just so surreal that I can't even describe it. Texting with my dad, texting with my family, texting with my friends. On Twitter, I'm trying to literally respond to any listener, anybody, anything who said, this is great to see the Bengals in the Super Bowl. This is literally the last thing I ever thought would happen anytime soon, let alone a year after they went 4-11-1, worst to first. And, I'll tell you what, which we'll talk about a little bit. I was ready to just put a fork in the season when it was 21-3. So,
well, you're so cursed that on that last overtime drive, when they had the ball at midfield, actually, as soon as they got the ball, I said Evan McPherson should call it now. And then they were inside the 30-yard line, the plus 30. And I said, it's over because I had to go do the HQ thing. You're like, shut up. You're going to jinx it. I was like, there's absolutely no way on God's green earth that Joe Burrow.
No, you and Tony Romo, right? The Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. It's like, are you a maniac? And you see, this is the problem with somebody who's a UNC and a Steelers fan. You're like, well, I guess we're gonna win here. No, you don't know pain. You don't know sadness. You don't know the heartbreak, the heart rip of a crippling loss, like the Bengals trying to steal one in Arrowhead.
And even funnier there,
man.
The funnier part about Romo saying that is that he also took a shot at himself because he's like, you never know what could happen on these short field goals. Someone might drop the snap. And
Nance
I'm like,
didn't
Romo, you don't bring that up. We don't want to talk about that. You can't talk about that.
And Nance, I missed it too. And Nance completely missed it. And he's like, Jim, you kind of missed that. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I made fun of myself for the playoff job. It was, I think, I mean, this is not a hot take or an unusual take by any stretch of the imagination. By the way, cheers to you, Breech.
Yeah.
It's my first drink on a Sunday night podcast all season. I've had one on Thursday. I've had one on Saturday, but did not do it on Sundays. I saved it. I saved it for an AFC title.
What are you drinking? Mad Dog 2020?
My special Bengal Bomb.
Bengal Bomb. Human remains and what else?
He mixes
tiger blood.
He mixes meth with human remains and tiger blood and drops it in a cup of bourbon.
I'm foaming at the mouth by this podcast, and Brinson's concoction is actually correct.
Cheers to everyone in the chat right now on youtube.com/pick6. Of course, we will be live after the Super Bowl. I don't know how that's. We got some logistics we'll deal with, but we will be live after the Super Bowl, live throughout the week when coaching hires, or we do a Mercy podcast. And I think we're going to do a Super Bowl chat. Wilson is going down to Alabama for the Senior Bowl, but Breech and I are going to do a live mailbag. So hit the subscribe button and hit the alert button. So
you're also going to be live from the Super Bowl all week.
In LA. We're going to be in LA.
Oh, yeah. We'll probably be like rooftop or something.
More programming notes to come, but you'll have live HQ shows, additional podcasts, lots of guys to come.
That's right. We will be doing a live video HQ show, I guess. Like
if you would have told me the first game we were going to travel to after post-COVID protocols was going to be a Bengals Super Bowl, I would have headbutted you. So it knocked us both out because that would have been absurd talk.
What have I been saying since January 1st? 2022 is all Breech. Every single day is better than the one preceded. I don't know what's next for you. It has been it's been a Mr. Toad's wild ride,
uphill.
man.
We're going to peak soon, but I'm going to keep riding this wave until it crashes.
And by the way, if you're a podcast listener who is in LA or is going to be in LA, holler at us. We'd love to, I haven't left Raleigh. Well, I guess I've left Raleigh a few times, but I haven't I haven't flown to go anywhere else.
Yeah, they don't. The hair implant factory is not in Raleigh.
Yeah, and we don't know what our COVID protocols are just yet.
I don't want to say we'll go get beers, but I mean we'd like to get beers if it's possible.
Jim Breech, if you're watching on YouTube.com, smoking the field goal, wearing ponies. It appears to be. You think that's right, John? He's wearing pony.
It might be Pumas, but it's Pony or Puma. It's definitely one of the two. And that is, if you are if you're listening on audio, it's a picture of my dad kicking a field goal in Super Bowl 23, the last time the Cincinnati Bengals.
Is that Pat McAnally, the holder?
I think that is Turk Schonert.
You're right. It is Turk Schonert. Dang it.
You weren't going to get me there.
Jenny Pritchard in the chat said Breech is going to hook up with Giselle.
You know what?
He's that hot right now.
And then Tom Brady decides to keep playing. He's like, well, we're getting divorced.
Here's the thing, though, Breech. I bet your wife would be like, yeah, he deserves it. I'm okay with that.
You would give her a pass for hooking up with Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, that's the pass exists. I mean, if there's celebrities, there's a pass list.
You're like, look, I know I just got back from LA. You've been dealing with this child all week long. Bengals lost the Super Bowl. I'm in a miserable mood. I'm really hungover. But I do need to admit something. I did hook up with Giselle. I hope that's cool.
And she'd be like, is that Giselle? Is that like a stripper? Or should I'd be like, well, no, it's actually
Brazilian supermodel, Giselle Bundchen.
Noted Brazilian supermodel. Okay, so let's
I would never do that. Commenter suggested it, by the way.
Hot take that
in case Tom Brady listening.
Hold on. You interrupted me to talk about LA. I was going to make a point, and as you often do, and as often as pointing out in the comments, and I thank you, commenters, for pointing out that Brinson constantly interrupts me, and it does hurt my feelings deeply. But this isn't about me. I was going to say, despite the level of passive-aggressive breach we've gotten throughout the years, I could not be happier for a person. You know, my wife said to me the other day, she goes, "Oh, Breech is so lovable." I said, "Breech is a butthole when it comes to Steelers." But other than that, you're exactly right. So, I mean,
My wife opened the door to the office and goes, "Hey, if dinner's ready." I was like, the Bengals are in the Super Bowl. She goes, "That's so great for Breech." I was like, I know, right?
Yeah, no. So I'm extremely happy for Breech. I mean, we met Breech's dad at Breech's wedding. Couldn't have been a nicer guy. All of Breech's family was nice. His little cousin was nice, who walked everyone with the umbrella.
The young ones drink early, but they're very nice.
Yeah, it was a fun wedding, and everyone had a good time, and I couldn't be happier. So I would imagine there's going to be a.
Well, and the other part is that I turned 40 this year, and my 40th birthday was 2 weeks ago, and I didn't have a party up to Cincinnati. I was dealing with some family
You
stuff.
went to Mexico, if I recall.
And
correctly.
so now my new 40th birthday, as planned by my family, is in Los Angeles.
Oh, mama.
Oh, so listen, if you're listening,
glad to see someone else would be neat walking drunk.
if you're listening on the podcast audio version, just send us a tweet, or if you're watching live, tell us what you think about this. Maybe this could be a poll, Debo. Should Breech go to the Super Bowl? Because he's actually thinking about whether he should or should not go when he will be literally 3 miles from the stadium.
Now, hold on. This is as a ticketed fan and not just
he won't
so
go
I can
for
do
free.
whatever I want. There's no throw everything out the window and just be go full Bengals.
All right, Breech. We need to ask this again because we asked this each of the last few weeks. Unfortunately, you are now in the actually compromised situation of having to admit that a Bengals Super Bowl win would leapfrog either your wedding day or the birth of your child.
Oh boy!
So would it leapfrog both or just one? And if so, which one?
Well, hold on now. Hold on. I don't have to answer that question yet because it hasn't happened. But again, I said last week the divisional win moves down if they win the AFC title, and now the AFC title is tied with my wedding day, but the birth of the kid is still number one.
The kid, you forgot her name.
But the Super Bowl, then we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. It's gonna be a tough bridge to cross. Like my wife will not be allowed to listen to that podcast.
The chat says 100% yes, 0% no. So, yeah.
Should I go to the game?
I mean, really. And also,
let's okay.
One more thing. Thank you. We're going to get to the football. People, let's enjoy this. So this is the Big Ben Retirement Podcast. This is the John Breech is going to the friggin' Super Bowl podcast. Some people are also wondering if I'm going to get a tattoo. If you can talk Brinson into paying for it, because he seems to be backing off the paying part of it.
To be honest, this is what is the chances that it's a Bengals tattoo? The first time we've seen each other since that bet is going to be at the Super Bowl, which features the Bengals. I mean,
it's crazy.
For all of that to come full circle, it's almost good that Wilson waited for it. And I think if Wilson wants to get something that's not Ryan Finley, but is Bengals related, I think we'd all be on board with it because it's still a tattoo and it's still the Bengals.
Do you know what I did?
If the Bengals win the Super Bowl, you just get
just talking, getting interrupted. Do you know what I did 30 minutes after the Super Bowl, Breech? 30 minutes. I was looking for vintage Bengals t-shirts on Amazon. They won't deliver overnight. And on Etsy, and there's nothing that's going to deliver in time. And I was going to wear those to support you. All right, I'm done, Prince.
I didn't think we had an approval of the artwork. I thought we were waiting on me.
That's
what do you think about that, Wilson?
Wilson is freaking Sean Spicer. I mean, you're unbelievable how you spin this. It's like nothing but my fault and Breech's fault. It's like your job is to get a tattoo.
We're going to be in LA. It's going to happen.
Your job is to get a tattoo to pay off a bet. You could get it on me and Breech.
You could get the JB9 ice that Joe Burrow was wearing. That could be your tattoo.
I would 100%.
But then since it's also my initials, it'd be even more hilarious.
Yes, that actually would be funny. All right.
Yeah. No, I'm all for it.
Yeah, we got to talk about this game.
About the gosh darn game.